Far beyond the reaches of the familiar stars and the well-charted paths of countless alien civilizations, an unexpected shadow drifted into the outer rim of known space, silent, vast, and unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen before. It was a fleet, but not one of ordinary design or origin. These ships did not glisten with metal plates or glow with the usual engine flares common to most galactic vessels. Instead, they seemed to pulse with a strange, dark energy, as if woven from the very fabric of the universe's deepest mysteries. The hum they gave off was low and constant, a sound that seemed to vibrate through space itself, unsettling even. The most experienced observers, the Galactic Council, the powerful union of starfaring species that governed and kept peace across the galaxy, received word of this fleet's sudden appearance with growing concern. Their sensors struggled too, fully captured the ship's energy signature, something they had never encountered before. It was dark matter, an elusive and barely understood force that even the most advanced scientists had only theorized about. Yet here it was, clearly harnessed and controlled by the humans, a species long underestimated by many in the galaxy. The Council's chambers buzzed with urgent discussions as diplomats, strategists, and scientists debated the implications. How had humanity, once thought to be a small player limited to one blue planet, developed such power? The fleet's silent approach was not aggressive, but the sheer presence of these dark matter warships was enough to send ripples of unease through the galaxy. The humans had issued a message through the Council's communication channels, not declaration of war or a request for alliance, but a bold statement of arrival. They were not here to conquer alien worlds or beg for protection. They were announcing their readiness to stand among the galaxy's great powers and to claim their place under the stars. The tone was calm but firm, filled with quiet confidence. That surprised many. Rumors began to swirl quickly across star systems. Some whispered that humanity had unlocked a technology stolen from ancient civilizations lost to time. Others speculated that humans had made a pact with forces beyond comprehension. No one could deny that this new development challenged everything the galaxy thought it knew about humans. Some council members were deeply suspicious, fearing that the dark matter ships could bring destruction on a scale never before witnessed. Others, especially younger delegates and scientists, were intrigued, and even hopeful. If humanity's technology was real and could be shared, it might open new doors for exploration and peace. The humans, for their part, remained deliberately mysterious. They shared only fragments of their achievements, revealing nothing of how their dark matter warships operated or where the knowledge had come from. This silence only fueled the suspense as the galaxy waited to see what humanity's next move would be. The fleet moved steadily through the outer sectors, slow and deliberate advance that spoke of strategic planning and restraint. The ships were massive yet elegant, with shapes that defied traditional engineering's smooth, flowing contours that seemed to ripple and shift as if alive. The dark matter energy that surrounded them was not just power, but a shield, absorbing and bending light and energy attacks with an almost magical ease. Scouts sent to observe the fleet returned with stories of ships that appeared and disappeared without warning, slipping through space like shadows. The Galactic Council's military leaders began to prepare, unsure if they would face a new ally or a devastating enemy. Their fleets were positioned cautiously, sensors scanning for any sign of hostile intent. The galaxy's many civilizations held their breath, caught between fear and fascination. Humanity's rise was no longer a distant rumor whispered in dark corners. It was now a reality that could not be ignored. Behind the scenes, human leaders worked tirelessly to manage the delicate balance of power. They sent out carefully crafted messages emphasizing their peaceful intent and willingness to cooperate for the good of all. Yet they remained steadfast in their demand for respect and recognition. To them, the dark matter warships were not just tools of war, but symbols of human innovation, resilience, and unity. The story of how these ships came to be was one of countless sacrifices, of minds working together across borders and cultures, pushing the limits of science and technology in ways no other species had dared. This fleet represented humanity's hope and determination to take its place on the galactic stage. No longer confined to a single planet, but reaching for the stars with courage and purpose. As days passed, the galaxy watched with mounting anticipation. Would humanity's shadow fleet bring destruction, or would it mark the dawn of a new era of cooperation and discovery? The answer remained hidden in the silent movements of those dark matter warships, waiting to reveal themselves to the galaxy in the moments to come. As the mysterious dark matter warships continued to hover silently at the edge of known space, the Galactic Council's greatest minds were thrown into a frenzy of activity, desperate to understand the secrets behind these incredible vessels. The technology behind them was unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. Traditional science and weaponry failed to explain the power and abilities these ships displayed. Reports from scout ships and remote sensors described phenomena that bent the very rules of space and time. The ships seemed to manipulate space-time itself, allowing them to strike targets almost instantly and then vanish before any counterattack could be launched. Their shields did not simply block energy or physical attacks. They absorbed and redirected them in ways that left the Council's most advanced weaponry useless and bewildered. Scientists pored over every scrap of data, analyzing the strange hum and energy patterns emanating from the ships, yet the core principles remained a mystery. Humanity, meanwhile, began to open a small window into their achievement, carefully controlling the flow of information to the Council. They revealed that the warships were the result of a decade-long secret project, one born out of humanity's greatest needs and driven by their unbreakable will to survive and thrive. Unlike other civilizations that relied on slow bureaucratic progress or isolated genius, humans had worked together across borders, cultures, and disciplines in a united effort. Engineers, physicists, and visionaries had combined their knowledge to create a technology capable of controlling the elusive dark matter, a substance that made up most of the universe's hidden mass, but was almost impossible to detect or manipulate. The breakthrough was no accident, but the fruit of countless experiments, failures, and hard-earned successes. This project had remained hidden from the rest of the galaxy for years, shielded by secrecy and a determination to protect humanity's future. Now, with the ships deployed, the secret was out, and the galaxy's reactions were mixed and intense. Some members of the Council saw humanity's rise as a dangerous threat. They feared that humans had unlocked a power too great to be controlled, and that the dark matter warships could upset the delicate balance of power that had kept peace in the galaxy for centuries. These members argued that such power in inexperienced hands could lead to chaos, destruction, or even conquest. They pushed for immediate containment measures and plans to neutralize the human fleet before it could grow stronger. On the other hand, many Council delegates found themselves admiring humanity's courage and ingenuity. They were amazed that a species so young in galactic terms could achieve what others had only dreamed of. These delegates saw the potential for a new era of collaboration and advancement if the dark matter technology could be shared responsibly. For them, humanity's determination was a beacon of hope, proof that innovation and unity could overcome the greatest challenges. The Council itself was divided, caught between fear and fascination. While debates raged in the chambers, the scientists continued their research, racing against time to decode the principles behind the dark matter manipulation. It became clear that the ships used advanced quantum fields to bend space and time, creating pockets where conventional physics no longer applied. This allowed for near-instant travel across vast distances and shields that could absorb energy attacks by converting them into harmless particles or redirecting them harmlessly into space. The warship's ability to phase in and out of visible reality made them almost untouchable in combat, giving humans a strategic advantage previously thought impossible. But the true marvel was not just the technology itself, but the philosophy behind it. Humans explained that their breakthrough was not just about power, but about balance. They believed that controlling such a force required responsibility, humility, and cooperation. This message resonated with many, but also raised questions about how humanity planned to use this power and whether they could be trusted with it. Suspense filled the air as the Council awaited further decisions from the human leaders. Would they open their technology to the galaxy, or keep it for themselves? Were they preparing to defend their place peacefully, or to assert dominance? The answers remained hidden behind the quiet confidence of the dark matter fleet. Meanwhile, in human command centers, leaders discussed their next moves with care and resolve. They knew the galaxy watched them closely, waiting for signs of aggression or goodwill. Their goal was clear: to prove that humanity deserved respect, not fear. That their technology could be a tool for progress, not destruction. Ouch. Calculated to maintain this delicate balance, knowing that any mistake could provoke a conflict that no one wanted. The mystery of the dark matter warships continued to deepen as the galaxy held its breath. The Council's scientists kept pushing the boundaries of understanding, sometimes coming close to breakthroughs that could change everything, but never quite reaching the full picture. For now, humanity stood at a crossroads poised to rewrite the rules of galactic power or risk being pushed back by those who feared the unknown. The shadow of the dark matter warships stretched across the stars, a silent reminder that the universe was about to change in ways no one could predict. Tensions inside the Galactic Council grew thick like storm clouds on the horizon, as suspicion spread swiftly through the halls where leaders of countless species gathered. The arrival of humanity's dark matter warships had shaken the very foundation of galactic politics, and many powerful factions feared that this sudden rise of a new player might upset the delicate and fragile balance of power they had spent centuries maintaining. Among the elder species, whispers turned into open accusations. Some argued that humans were reckless, untested in the great games of diplomacy and warfare, yet wielding a weapon capable of tearing apart star systems. Others saw the potential for humanity to be a dangerous wild card, capable of forcing their will upon the galaxy through sheer technological might. The council chambers, once places of reasoned debate and careful negotiation, now echoed with voices full of distrust and fear. Diplomatic talks that were meant to find common ground instead spiraled into harsh words and heated disagreements. Delegates accused one another of hiding motives, of secretly arming fleets against humanity, or plotting to force them back to Earth. To make matters worse, warships from several species began to mobilize near the sectors under human control. Their movements deliberate signals of warning and preparation. Space around human colonies, previously peaceful and stable, became tense with the quiet hum of weapon systems and the wary gaze of countless sensors. But humanity did not respond with anger or threats. Instead, they chose a path few expected. They sent emissaries calm, clear, and respectful across the council and to neighboring civilizations, urging peace and cooperation. They spoke of the great potential their dark matter technology held, not just for war, but for exploration, defense, and even healing. Their message was one of hope, a vision where the galaxy's many species could work together, share knowledge, and rise to new heights. Yet, the gap between words and actions seemed vast, as many council members remained skeptical, unwilling to trust so quickly a power that could so easily overwhelm them. The growing tension pulled tighter like a noose around the neck of the galaxy, and suspicions turned into fear-driven actions. Then, as if the fragile peace were destined to break, chaos erupted from an unexpected source. A rogue faction, one of the many splinter groups that did not answer to the Council, or any recognized government, launched a sudden and brutal surprise attack on a remote human outpost on the edge of controlled space. The assault was swift and merciless, designed to test the limits of humanity's resolve and to send a warning to both humans and the Council alike. The outpost was a small but important research station, a symbol of humanity's peaceful ambitions and scientific progress. Its destruction shocked many who believed in peaceful solutions and raised the stakes dramatically. Humanity's leaders were faced with a choice: to hold back and risk appearing weak, or to respond decisively and risk further conflict. The answer was clear. Dark matter warships, silent sentinels until then, rose swiftly into action. They did not retaliate with reckless fury, but with measured precision, striking only the rogue faction's vessels involved in the attack. The response was designed to protect, not punish, but it sent a powerful message that humanity would defend itself and its values without hesitation. This bold and careful retaliation shifted the mood across the galaxy. Some factions admired humanity's restraint and resolve, seeing in it a maturity that contradicted the fears of reckless aggression. Others hardened their stance, convinced more than ever that humanity's power could not be left unchecked. Meanwhile, the Council scrambled to regain control of the situation, calling emergency meetings and trying to prevent the spiraling tension from erupting into full-scale war. Behind the scenes, secret talks began between human diplomats and some more open-minded council members, exploring ways to build trust and avoid unnecessary conflict. The dark matter warships remained a silent but powerful presence on the edges of known space, symbols of a new era filled with uncertainty and opportunity. The galaxy stood at a crossroads, caught between the fear of war and the hope for peace, waiting to see if humanity's rise would bring destruction or a chance for all to grow stronger together. In this moment of suspense, every decision, every word, and every movement carried the weight of countless lives and the future of the stars. Themselves in the cold and silent void between distant star systems, the long-awaited clash erupted without warning, shattering the fragile calm that had gripped the galaxy for weeks. The space was vast and empty. It filled with tension as fleets from different civilizations converged, their warships gleaming coldly against the backdrop of distant suns. Among them, humanity's dark matter warships appeared like shadows come to life, gliding through space with movements so fluid they seemed to slip between the fabric of reality itself. What followed was nothing short of astonishing. The human ships vanished and reappeared unpredictably, shifting dimensions to avoid incoming fire and striking with pinpoint accuracy at enemy vessels that could only watch in disbelief as their weapons passed harmlessly through empty space. Their ability to manipulate space-time gave them a speed and agility that left opponents struggling to keep up, while their defensive shields absorbed energy blasts that would have destroyed lesser ships. Despite facing overwhelming numbers, humanity did not falter. Their commanders coordinated with a fierce determination and tactical brilliance, using their technological advantage to outmaneuver and isolate enemy squadrons one by one. It was a battle not won by brute force alone, but by cunning, resilience, and the unyielding will to protect their newfound place in the galaxy. Each strike by the dark matter warships sent ripples through the combat zone, forcing their enemies into retreat or destruction. The explosions were spectacular but controlled, as if humanity sought not to destroy everything but to prove their strength and restraint at once. Watching the battle unfold, members of the Galactic Council were stunned. Their long-held assumptions about humans as a minor species were shattered by this display of power and strategy. The human fleet was not just a threat. It was a revelation, a signal that the galaxy's rules were changing. As the battle raged on, the cold void itself seemed to pulse with energy, a silent witness to the birth of a new chapter in galactic history. The outcome was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Humanity's rise was unstoppable, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The battle had ended, but the scars it left on the galaxy were deep and lasting. Though no clear victor had emerged, and the fighting had ceased for now, an uneasy peace settled like a fragile veil over the stars. The Galactic Council, long divided and strained by the sudden rise of humanity, convened once more in their grand chambers rooms filled with the echoes of countless debates and decisions that had shaped the galaxy for centuries. This time, however, the mood was different. Fear and suspicion had slowly given way to a cautious respect, tempered by the undeniable proof of humanity's strength, ingenuity, and willingness to act with both power and restraint. In the Great Hall, where representatives from countless worlds gathered, a new chapter was about to be written. Humanity, once considered a minor player on the galactic stage, was now ready to take its place among the great civilizations. The human delegates stepped forward not with arrogance, but with a clear and humble offer to share their dark matter technology with the galaxy, under strict ethical rules designed to prevent misuse and ensure peace. Their proposal was bold, yet thoughtful. They understood that the power to manipulate space-time was not a gift to be hoarded or wielded recklessly, but a responsibility to be shared carefully and wisely. The council listened, some skeptical but most intrigued, as humanity outlined plans for cooperation that would foster scientific exchange, joint exploration, and mutual defense. The idea of working together on such an unprecedented scale sparked hope in many hearts. Across the galaxy, species that had once eyed humanity with fear now regarded them with cautious hope. The stories of the dark matter warships, their mysterious origins, their incredible abilities, and the way humanity had stood firm without seeking to dominate began to change minds and open doors. Alliances that once seemed impossible started to form, built on new trust and shared goals. The Council's decision to welcome humanity as a full member was met with both relief and optimism. This was not just a political move, but a recognition that the galaxy had grown larger, more complex, and more promising because of humanity's arrival. As the delegates signed agreements and exchanged words of goodwill, the dark matter warships quietly slipped back into the deep reaches of space. Their silent presence a reminder that this new era was only beginning. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if acknowledging the dawn of a future shaped by unity and discovery. In the midst of these changes, human leaders reflected on how far their species had come from a fragile blue world to a force capable of influencing the fate of countless civilizations. They knew the road ahead would be challenging, filled with both opportunities and dangers, but they were ready. The spark of human spirit, fueled by curiosity and courage, was now a light for the entire galaxy. With the promise of cooperation and respect guiding their path, humanity's story was no longer just their own. It had become a part of the grand tale of the cosmos, one that would inspire generations to explore, create, and protect the infinite mysteries of the universe. The new dawn for the galaxy was bright, filled with hope and endless possibilities. As the dark matter warships faded into the horizon, carrying with them the dreams of a united future,